Welcome, everybody, to Duck Duck Hoops, episode 14 on a
How about
special
that?
Thursday. Special Thursday. 14 weeks.
Yeah, man.
Sort of 14 weeks of us talking college basketball on here. Man, it's almost over.
Yeah.
It's getting there. But
we're getting into March, that's for sure.
let's not look too ahead. The furthest that we can look is Selection Sunday, which will be next Sunday.
Sure.
We'll have that on the Boot Hill Sports Network as well. We'll have our reaction to it about an hour after the brackets at 6 or 6:30ish. It'll be flexible. You'll see the Facebook posts. But let's get into last week's game, shouldn't we?
Let's do it. All right, so we ended up picking 8 games on the slate. We're going to go through these fairly quickly.
Got a lot to discuss.
Yeah, we do have a lot to discuss tonight. Started off with Michigan versus Purdue. Charlie ended up getting this one right as he picked the Wolverines, who beat the Purdue Boilermakers. Next, Michigan versus Illinois. Man, Michigan had a tough week, and all they did was win.
I mean, yeah, they flat out just have dominated their competition since that Duke game. They played Minnesota over the week. They beat them 77-67. Then they played Illinois, beat them by 14. They got a tough one against Iowa in Iowa City, or not in Iowa. Yeah, in Iowa City. That just tipped off. But then after that, it's senior day for Michigan. On Sunday, they play Michigan State.
Yeah, and we'll have more to talk about that later. The next game was the marquee matchup, really, for Saturday during the day. And, man, Duke put a belt to the rear end of Virginia.
What did I say?
Virginia? Wahoo-wah or whatever?
Why? It's something about the Who's.
It's wahoo-wah, I think. And I'm going to tell you right now, there wasn't much of that going on.
Yeah, they got stomped out.
They did. Duke is further solidifying why I say they are the best team in the nation. It was an impressive victory. Next, both of us were on Arizona, and they handled the Jayhawks, man. You starting to get a little worried about this Kansas team, possibly?
Oh, I've been worried about this Kansas team. They're little. They malfunction pretty easily here. I mean, let's talk about a couple nights ago. They went to Tempe. What happened?
Yeah.
They lost. They got beat. Bill Self got ejected in that game. I feel like you never see Bill Self get ejected.
No.
At all. And, I mean, there's some discussion about was it a worthy ejection? Was it the emotions of the game getting to the side? I'm not going to say yes. I'm not going to say no. I think it's a little wild that you have a referee who has barely had a day off since January reffing a high game like this. But
I know. And when you told me that, it really surprised me. Like, I had no clue. Like, I guess, is this a shortage? I mean, like, that's crazy for a man to work that many days in a row. Because if you've ever reffed a game at all in basketball, which I have a couple, not on a high school level or anything, but on like a junior high level even, I'm going to tell you right now, it takes it out of you. And these are high profile games. But
since Valentine's Day, he's had one day off. And that was February 20th. That was a Sunday. He worked the 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th, the 21st, the 23rd, the 24th, 25th, 26th, 27th, 28th, the 1st, and the 2nd. So that is 14 games in a 15-day slate. I don't know, man.
When I worked that many days in a row, and I did for a long time. Remember when I worked at the Nutrient Ag down in Cooter? I mean, it's easy to get snappy when you've worked that many days in a row.
Yeah.
So I think the big story coming out of this is and Arizona solidified it later on in the week. We'll talk about it. It was the Wildcats. Kansas, I will say one thing before we move on. I heard Seth Greenberg say this on an ESPN show this morning. He said, Kansas has to figure out a way to play with Darren Peterson and not at Darren Peterson. And I thought, well, what's he talking about? He's talking about when Darren Peterson's in the game, because he hadn't been in the game enough, that they just kind of look at him
Yeah.
Let them, you know what I mean? And it just doesn't work. But anyway, we moved on, and this was one you got me on. The Texas Tech Red Raiders, man, without Toppin, just continue to roll.
Yeah.
They beat Iowa State, and that was an impressive victory there, Doug.
I mean, it was very impressive. It was a 20-point lead for Tech at the half.
Yeah.
Almost. It was a 16-point. Let me be exact there, but they led by 20 at one point in the first half, and then they just coasted along without Toppin. And it was good until Tuesday. Tuesday was just the day for the Big 12 teams to fall.
Yeah.
Texas Tech fell to TCU in that one.
That's true.
Who knows?
Yeah, still a big victory. It's going to help them with seeding for sure. Next might have been the most exciting game out of the ones that we saw, as Bama ends up going in and beating Tennessee on a buzzer beater, Charlie.
LeBaron Philon, I mean, one of the best players in the SEC, flat out.
And doesn't get talked about a lot.
He got talked about a little bit, and then he slowed down in December and January, kind of when Alabama slowed down flat out. And no one really talked about them. But this month, he's been big for the Crimson Tide. He had 23 in that one, then had 26 in the next game against Georgia that they lost. I feel like every team that wins is losing at this rate.
Well, the SEC is such a funny conference this year. We'll talk a little bit about the Florida Gators here in just a second, but I think behind them, and of course, Bama's got a big one coming up this week. Will be in our predictions with Auburn. I think Bama's probably the second best team in the SEC. I mean, I really do, and that's they're flawed. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know who else I would give that to. That mantra to. It's bounced around this year. The SEC, coming off that year last year that they had, still a deep conference. Don't get me wrong, but man. Anyway, big win for the Tide there. And then you want to talk about blowouts. The next game, the Florida Gators said, we are still the defending champs. Just completely annihilated a very good Arkansas Razorback team.
Yeah, I mean, it was 53-34 at halftime, and somehow, some way, Florida played better in the second half. That's something that you don't normally see, I feel like, with a big lead like that. Now, they had a 37-point lead in that second quarter, or in that second half, and I mean, Thomas Haw, Alex Condon, just flat out dominated for Florida. It's just, does Arkansas have the weapons for March at this?
Well, they have one of the best guards in the nation. That's for sure. He proved that last night. Acuff is a beast. But I don't know. That's a good question. I thought they were definitely, I said that. I thought they were the best team in the SEC earlier in the year.
You said that they were one of the best teams in the nation.
I really did. And at times they look like they could be. I don't know, man. I don't think Arkansas should sound the alarm on this by any means. I think they just caught a team that is really, really catching their stride right now. And think about this. Florida started off 5-4 this year. But they were really trying to figure out some stuff. They were trying to figure out their front court. They were really trying to figure out their rotations. I think they figured it out, son. And if they can keep shooting the ball, because that was the problem earlier in the year, man, they are deep. So, anyway.
Yeah, well, you said that they were 5-4. You look at those 4 losses that they had.
Yeah, they were quality losses.
Arizona, TCU, which is still like, oh, well.
It's not a bad
TCU.
loss.
Duke, in Cameron Indoor, and then UConn.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you couldn't really
3 of the 4 best
losses.
teams in the nation, or 3 of the 5 best teams in the nation, in my opinion, which you'll hear about that in a little bit too. Finally, man, we both were right when we picked Arizona to beat Iowa State. They win the Big 12 outright.
Yeah, I saw that it was like the first time they've won a conference in a bit. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. For at least a few years since the Pac-12.
How about Coach Tommy? I mean, Tommy Lloyd, really, it's an interesting story because he was a long time assistant at Gonzaga, I believe.
Yes.
Most guys that have not had a little head coaching experience don't get a job in a place like Arizona. I mean, Arizona may not be considered an old school blue blood, but for my lifetime, well, most of my lifetime at least, they've been one of the best programs today. Luke Nelson was a freaking legend there. Think of all the NBA players that have come through there. Anyway, DJ Tommy Lloyd has got it going on. And I heard where somebody asked him after the game something about his team. He's got a chip on his shoulder. He said people are calling Arizona soft. And I heard the soundbite, man, and he's got swagger. I'm telling you, this is another team that is starting to catch their stride at the right time too, Charlie. Now, they've got a heck of a tough road in that Big 12 conference tournament. But, man, props to Tommy Lloyd. DJ Tommy Lloyd and the Wildcats, man.
Yeah, there's been some discussion with Tommy Lloyd from a certain fan base in Lawrence about the day Bill Self retires, about how they want to strike and take him. Now, the question is, A, when does Bill Self retire? But B, is Tommy Lloyd the move that you want to make a big splash with?
Well, I don't know, man. Let's see what he can do in the tournament this year with this squad he's got, because he's got a squad where if he doesn't at least make the second weekend, there's a problem. But he's got a team that could win the whole damn thing. So, and he seems like a great guy. So to tally it down, your dad went 6-2, you went 5-3. Not too bad for either one of us this week.
Yeah, I mean, not too shabby at all. Well, do we want to get into the first of our two little moments that we have? All right. So here we go.
All right, let me take a drink of my. I'm back. Miller Lite is the new sponsor. I'm back off the Michelob Ultra and back on the Miller Lite.
Michelob dropped us.
Nah, they dropped us. That's okay. Speaking of dropping people, all right, I'm gonna start this conversation off with this.
Oh God,
I've been a Memphis State fan, University of Memphis fan, my whole life when it comes to basketball. When I was a little boy, Elliot Perry and the squad that was right before Penny, Larry Finch as the coach, really captured me. I mean, we didn't have cable TV. That was the only sporting team I could see every game from. They showed them on, it was like your version of UPN, basically. And, man, along come this guy, Penny Hardaway. And, man, he was such a phenomenal player. And I loved him. Even though I was a Knicks fan, man, loved watching him and Shaq in the league. So I want to say all that to say that anything I say negative here is not on, I mean, this is coming from a guy who really is a Penny, as you would call it, rider. Memphis plays tonight. They have senior night tonight. And I hope they get a victory over South Florida. But they sit at 12-17. They have lost 6 games in a row. This is the first time Memphis has lost 6 games in a row since 1998-99 season. All right, I got news for you. That was my senior year of high school. And you folks can look. High school's been a long ways away from me. This program, which has been a proud program for a lot of years, and we're talking 2 national runner-ups, a plethora of Sweet 16 appearances and, great players from Keith Lee to freaking Derrick Rose to you name it. A proud program, okay?
Okay.
12-17. And I happen to live in the city. Well, technically Bartlett now, but we all know that I'm in town. Throw my M down.
Okay.
It's about time we start thinking about, is this the right situation here? And it's a delicate situation. Just the other day, yesterday, as a matter of fact, AD Ed Scott came out and gave a report about the Memphis Tiger basketball program and how they have lost, I want to say it was 1.6, 1.8 million. It doesn't matter. They are losing money, and they're losing a lot of it. Ticket sales at the FedEx Forum have been absolutely horrid. As you know, I I've got friends that have season tickets. I've been to games this year. It has been it's embarrassing. You can't even fill up the lower bowl. You can't even get close to filling up the lower bowl for some of these games. And I could go on and on and on about the structure of this team and everything, but I want to talk about Mr. Anthony Penny Hardaway. And I want to talk about this program that I love so much. I think it's about time that the Memphis Boosters, who love this guy so much, start to get real and start to say, do we love him more than the program? That's a delicate situation because Penny brought in a lot of excitement after Tubby Smith, which didn't, God bless Tubby. He was a great coach, a Hall of Fame coach, but his time at Memphis wasn't well. Correct me if I'm wrong, in the first, I believe, 6 seasons for Penny, maybe 7, I know he's had 3 tournament appearances, NCAA tournament appearances. All 3 first-round exits.
No. The first one wasn't. No, the Jalen Duren one was the second round.
You're right. They played Gonzaga in the second round.
Almost beat him.
That was a pretty good team. Lost to FAU, which I understand, made a deep run, and then got beat by Northern Colorado last year.
Colorado State.
Anyway, none of that matters. What matters is this program, which deserves better, has made the tournament, less than half of the time? Half of the time?
Yeah.
Okay. Here's what I'm saying. They are in real threat of not even making their conference tournament this year. Okay?
Okay.
This conference is terrible. One big conference. So I'm going to wrap this up by saying we as Memphians and proud fans of this program need to say it's okay to love Penny Hardaway and also understand that he may not be the answer. So what is the answer? Well, I think if you cannot go out and get a coach like Josh Schertz, who I love from SLU, somebody that could really take this job to the next level, then you let Penny have one more year here. But anything past that, Penny, man, you're better than this. And the program deserves better than this.
Okay.
So all I will say is it's been frustrating for me. This has been one of the worst years it's the worst year since I moved to Memphis for basketball. With what's going on with the Grizzlies and the Tigers, it's terrible. But we need to start thinking maybe Penny Hardaway is maybe like Patrick Ewing at Georgetown. Maybe he's a legend, but maybe he's not the fit to lead the program going forward.
That was a pretty good comparison right there. Yeah, I just feel like the issue is that if you don't force him to resign, you're alienating half the fan base right there because they go, "Oh, Penny is Penny."
Even if you force him to resign, you're alienating. The problem is, man, you've got to pose the question to him. How much do you love Penny? How much do you love winning? Because this program is in really dire straits right now, Charlie. With the new landscape of NIL, this thing could go by the wayside. It could go quick, man.
Yeah.
So,
it doesn't help that they've been passed up a few times on realignment.
It doesn't.
And passed up on realignment, too.
It doesn't.
If they would have went to the Mountain West, who knows what happens?
Well, like I said, I love you, Penny. I'll always love you. I had a pair of your shoes. Man.
Were those shoes comfy?
But anyway, that's my rant for this week.
Yeah, but do you want to pass the rant ball over to me?
Yeah, take it away.
All right. So let me get my clapping started here. For the past month and a half, I have ranked the Miami of Ohio Redhawks in my honorable mentions because of the rule. You're undefeated this late in the season. You are one of the elites. I don't care what level of basketball you play. I'll get into what I saw today, but They're 30-0. They beat Toledo, who is a very solid team in the MAC. A couple nights ago, they beat Western Michigan in Kalamazoo with a buzzer beater in a amazing game. If you didn't get to watch it, it was a really, really good one. Miami of Ohio's coach, Travis Steele, had to pay for some DJ equipment because he got a tech, punched the Western Michigan DJ's equipment, paid like $10,000 for some new equipment for him, or $20,000, something like that. And but there's an issue, and the issue is with these two people right here, Steven and Bruce Pearl. Bruce Pearl, since he's retired, has gotten a soapbox at TNT Sports and CBS Sports, and he thinks just because these past couple of years the SEC's look good, that this year's the same. The SEC is a good conference. They're a great conference. But you're telling me a under 500 Auburn team that has shown terrible stretches this year should be in over a 30-0 Miami of Ohio team? I'm seeing people still conversate about, well, if Miami of Ohio loses so-and-so games in the regular season, they're out. How are we out here in this situation? Because you're talking about a team that is 30-0. Not a lot of teams get there. The last mid-major, in quotes, are not a mid-major, but Gonzaga, they went undefeated. You know what they did? I'm not saying that the Drew Timme Jalen Suggs Gonzaga team is on the same level as this Miami team, right?
No, of course not.
It's not even close. But still, you set a precedent with that no matter what, they get in if they're undefeated. Obviously, they win the MAC. Who knows? They'll be in. But they're going to seed them bad, and you know that. They're going to seed them terrible in the tournament just because they have not played anyone, in quotes. Well, I saw today that someone, I'm trying to remember who it was because I want to credit them. They sent some Freedom of Information Act requests to the University of Miami in Ohio, right?
Mm-hmm.
They figured out who said no to Miami of Ohio. Their big thing this year was everyone said no to us. Rank us or play us. That's what their motto was. They were turned away by 75 teams this year. From the A10, Mountain West, top mid-majors. I'm pretty sure like West Virginia also said no to them. In the process, I found the article here. It was Pittsburgh first. They said no. The game that Pittsburgh ended up playing that same day was against Hofstra. You know what happened? They lost that one. Wisconsin never even answered them back. Marquette said no to them. So, I mean, you're looking at some teams here. Marquette, not the best season. They've had a terrible season.
That's
but
for sure.
Still, a school that is bigger than Miami of Ohio. They want to punch up. They asked Pitt, BYU, Ohio State, Kansas, and all they got were no's.
Oh, I'd have loved to see them in BYU play.
They got no's right there.
I've got a little bit of something on this, Charlie. Here's what I know. They have one regular season game left, and it's against the University of Ohio. And I was listening to, it was in the same Seth Greenberg thing this morning. He believes if they beat Ohio, it's a lock. And this is what's ridiculous, though. He said if they lose to Ohio, he thinks they have to make the conference final, at least. Maybe win their conference.
It sets a terrible precedent for the future.
Look, here's the thing about the MAC. Is it the best basketball conference in the world? No. But I'm going to tell you right now, you talk to anybody who knows hoops, they'll tell you having to go in the season to Toledo or into Buffalo, those are hard places to get W's at, dude. They really are. The MAC is set up very evenly. Mostly state schools, their NIL, everything's about the same. It's one of the most level playing fields as far as conference goes in the nation.
Yeah.
These guys, they're the real deal. And unfortunately, you're right, Charlie. Here's what I think is going to happen. I think they're going to beat Ohio because they beat everybody else on their damn schedule. I think they're probably going to win the damn conference tournament and go in, 33, 34, no, I don't know how many they'll have to play.
I think it'll be 33,
Probably. Here's what's bad. You nailed it on the head, son. They're going to get seeded a 12 at the best.
They're right now, Joe Lenardi has them as an 11. CBS has them as a 12. So
I feel like a 12 seed is coming up for them. And it's unfortunate, man. It really is.
Yeah, and it sucks because it sets up a precedent for next year. Let's say Shirt stays at SLU. They go undefeated next year. Where are you going to put SLU at?
I think SLU might. I think it's a slightly different because I think their conference is more respected because they were in the top 20 for a little while this year.
Well, okay, let me set you up with one. I'm watching the Patriot League. I got the Patriot League tournament on right now. Navy is currently they're 25-6. They're the number 1 seed in this tournament. Okay. They're only up 4 against 10 and 22 Bucknell. So yeah. Let's say if Navy were to have went undefeated this year, what would have happened with Navy? That's my argument.
Oh, you make a great point, and I'm going to tell you right now. I'm rooting for this Miami of Ohio team, and I honestly think that they could pull an upset or two. I mean, they're good. They're a legit team.
All right. There we go.
We said our piece. Got to let a little anger out.
Yeah. So, let's get into some just fun talk for a sec. The bubble exists, and we just talked about the bubble in a way with Miami of Ohio. So I found the Field of 68 posted some bubble resumes a couple days ago after some key wins and losses. So I'm going to show you the resume of a team, see how you feel about it, okay?
Sounds great.
Okay, so let's start off first with Southern Methodist out of the ACC. They're 19-11. They're 8-9, though, in conference. They are 37th in the net. They're about 41st in terms of quality wins, I believe. Mm-hmm. And so that means they're 4-8 in quad 1 wins, but most of those quad 1 losses are in conference play. Yeah. Because you got to think who's in their conference. In quad 2, they're 3-3, 5-0, 7-0, and 3-4, respectively.
I think they're a tournament team. I think that if they can win a game or two in the conference tournament, that would help get to that. I've always thought the committee likes to see that 20 wins behind you. They really do. I've seen this team play. They've got some talent. 4-8 in quad 1 is not bad. What I like is they're 12-0. They did not lose a ball game to those lower conferences. They handled business.
Okay.
I think they're a tournament team. I think it would help if they could win at least another 2 ball games.
So that's the first team. SMU, we're saying, are in.
Okay. I think so.
The Indiana Hoosiers, kind of a similar situation right here. That is a tongue twister right there.
That was a tongue twister there, Doug.
18-12 on the season. They're 9-10 in conference. They're 40th in the net, which the NCAA tournament loves the net. They love it.
Really do.
They're 55 though in their average resume. Of the teams that they've played, they're 38 in their quality wins. They're 2-11 in quad 1 games, 3-1 in quad 2, and then also undefeated in the 3rd and 4th quadrants. Key wins. They have a key win against Purdue. That Purdue avenged. I will add Purdue avenged that loss, but still a key win against a top 15 team in the country.
Definition of the bubble here. Once again, handled their business. Did not lose. Did not have any sloppy, ugly losses. It depends on if you're a Big 12 or a Big 10 person. In the 1 or 1A best conference in the nation. But man, this is another one, Duck. I really think they're probably going to get in if they can win another damn 2 ball games. If I could see that record saying 20-12 or 21-12, they're in there, man.
I forgot they have a key win against Wisconsin as well on February 7th.
Yeah,
So they beat Wisconsin and Purdue. That's their 2 big wins.
that's pretty high. I mean, it's going to depend on what happens if we got upsets in the mid majors. Right now, I say, yeah, they're in.
All right. So we got another Big Ten school here. This team to me has been the definition of the bubble since Mizzou's kind of gotten out of the bubble and are kind of in that territory of they're probably in, right? Yeah. It is Ohio State.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
I'm just playing.
19-11, 11-8 conference schedule. Then they're 34th in the net, which is very, very impressive for the teams that are in the Big Ten.
Damn.
And like considering how much Ohio State just doesn't care about basketball at this rate and pump all their money into football, it to me is a pretty good sign if you're 34th in the net, no matter what. But they have a quality win average of 32 or 32.7, but quadrant 1 wins 2-10, but then they're 7-1 in quadrant 2, then 3-4, obviously undefeated in quads 3 and 4.
You know, looking at this, God, I might put these guys in over Indiana. Dude, a 34 in the net, like you said, they love that. 7-1 in quad 2 and undefeated in quad 3 and 4. I hate to say it because I hate Ohio State. They belong in over Indiana.
Their quality wins are Purdue and Wisconsin as well.
Yeah, give me Ohio State over Indiana, to be honest with you.
Well, I got some good news for you. They play Saturday.
Well,
so,
dude, that is going to be a real, like, that game is going to hold some weight, in my opinion.
It probably will. The game's in Columbus, too.
I think both of them will get in, but, like, I don't know. You know what I mean?
And then the next, the take I regret the most from the beginning of the season.
What's up?
The California Golden Bears being a top 3 team in the ACC.
Oh, yeah. You did say that.
21-9 on the season. They're 9-8 in conference play. They're 64th in the net, which is the absolute definition of bubble, if you're going to be honest. 68 teams get in. They're 4-4 quad 1, 2-4 quad 2, 6-1 quad 3, 6-4 or 8-0 in quad 4. So they have a quad 3 loss. I'm trying to figure out who their quad 3 loss would be.
They already got 21 victories. That's going to help. They're going to.
All right, I have their quad 3 loss.
Who is their quad 3 loss?
The Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets.
Not the best loss.
Actually, not Georgia Tech. Not Georgia Tech. I got that wrong. My bad.
I was gonna say I didn't think that.
I was like, that's a really bad loss.
Just looking at their resume, 4-4 in quad 1 though. It
was Pitt. It was Pitt is their quad 3 loss.
Yeah, that's not a great loss.
72-56 final that was.
4-4 in quad 1 though is not bad, brother.
Yeah, their wins are UCLA, UNC, at Stanford, at Miami. So, not too bad. Their quad 2 wins are Stanford and SMU.
Right now, I would probably lean toward putting them in, to be honest with you.
Okay. Is there any other bubble teams that you know of or that you can think of? Auburn is a very good example.
Shit, no. No. They need to. I'm sorry. They need to burn that whole thing down, man.
Man.
Stephen Pearl's going to get another year there. is
Well,
what's
yeah, I
funny.
mean,
But,
a Pearl's
no,
always going to
no,
get a.
no. Well, I will say this now. I will say this. Let's say they beat Bama this weekend, and let's say they make it to the finals of the SEC tournament.
Oh, yeah, they're in then. I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
it's going to be really
and I'm
tough
gonna
to be in the
honest with you,
finals of the
Charlie,
tournament.
that's not that far fetched.
Right now, I'm not sure where they are seated in the standings.
I think they're 16 and 14 or something like that. And,
I got their football standings. I was like, they're 1-7 in conference. What are we doing?
They're 16 and 14, and
7 and 10 in conference play.
Yeah.
So they are.
Looking at this, I think California has a chance. I think a lot of these teams, it's going to depend on what's happening in the next few days. You know?
Yeah, Auburn would be the 11 seed going into the SEC tournament if it started right now.
But man, that conference has got a lot of parity in it right now. You telling me that Auburn can't beat Vanderbilt? I mean, you telling me that Auburn on a good day can't upset Arkansas? Hell, I don't know, dude. The one thing I do know, well, I mean, I just don't know. I doubt they get in. I doubt that they end up doing what they need to do. But like that SEC is a weird conference this year.
It's really wild to think that Auburn was like the 1 seed last year. They might just be out of the tournament.
Well, I heard a conversation that on a certain sports radio show, and I thought it was an interesting conversation. It was talking about nepotism, and it's talking about Stephen Pearl, because this is the definition of nepotism here.
Yeah, he just got the job.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they were like, he's, his dad still holds some sort of, I don't know, something down there, and it just was unnecessary. Bruce Pearl, yeah, you did some all right things at Auburn. You didn't win no championship there, bro. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like.
Did they even win the conference last year? Like the conference tourney?
I don't know. This nepotism thing very seldom ever works out.
No.
Sometimes coaches can pick another coach, and John Thompson, his son did all right. I'll give him that. But and at least that made some sense. This made no sense. I don't want to talk about Auburn
anymore. I just looked. He did not win the conference at like a conference tournament.
No, he had some good teams. I mean, to be honest with you, dude, it makes no sense. It really doesn't. I'm going to tell you one thing I know about the Auburn people that have the scratch. They ain't going to put up with this long. They ain't. Well, all right. Do you want to go on to our top 10s, then make our predictions for next week?
Let's do that. All right. Well, let's pull up the top 25 real quick from the AP poll. So this is one of the last AP polls, or actually the last one of the regular season.
It is.
So starting from 25 going to 21, SLU at 25. A lot of SLU fans thought they were out. They thought they were dead in the water of the top 25. Kind of were shocked after coming back in after suffering 2 losses back-to-back in the A-10. Vandy at 24.
Mm-hmm.
They're the weirdest team in the SEC, quite possibly. The SEC is full of some weird teams right now.
They are.
Tennessee at 23, Miami, Florida at 22, and then St. Mary's at 21. St. Mary's, a huge win against Gonzaga. I did not get talked about a lot. They have a share of the West Coast Conference title.
That was a big victory.
Yeah, I mean that is a sign that you can compete with Gonzaga. That one game that you had with them a couple weeks ago was kind of an outlier, possibly.
Mm.
So then the next 5: Arkansas, Miami of Ohio at 19, St. John's 18, UNC 17, Alabama 16.
Okay.
15: Purdue, 14: Kansas, 13: Virginia, Gonzaga at 12, Illinois at 11. Any reaction right there?
Well, I think that Illinois is a tricky team. I think that that line 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, if you're asking me, is anybody from that line going to make a run? Hell, I could see all 5 of them doing that, to be honest with you. That's how much parity we got this year.
By the way, Purdue is the biggest faller from this
Yeah,
whole ordeal. They fell 7 points down.
they
So
should.
the top 10, the biggest riser in the week, Texas Tech. Obviously, they're going to go down. They went 6 spots up this week in the AP poll. They're at 10. Then Nebraska's at 9. Michigan State's at 8. Houston at 7. Iowa State at 6. The resume just speaks volumes for Iowa State.
Yeah, it does.
Then 5, Florida, 4, UConn, and the top 3 stay the same once again. Michigan, Arizona, Duke.
Yep.
So
Right.
that's the AP top 25. Do we want to get into our honorable mentions?
Yeah,
now?
let's do it.
All right. I think you started off last week, so I'll start off.
Go ahead.
So I have Texas Tech
Sure.
in my honorable mentions. Rough loss against TCU, of course, but still, to show the wherewithal to beat a team without your best player, especially when the team is one of the elites, I can't doubt you.
That's big time.
Purdue is in my honorable mentions. They are the bubble of the honorable mentions. They're just a confusing team, flat out.
They are.
I don't.
They are on a bad run right now.
I could see them either being a team that gets bounced in the round of 64 by a double-digit seed, or I could see them as a team that makes the Sweet 16 Elite 8. And it's like, well, they got hot at the right time, I guess. Then I got Virginia. The loss to Duke weighs heavy, but they are still a top 3 team in that conference.
Mhm.
I'd probably say they're 2. I think they're just a little bit better than UNC.
Mhm.
Just a teeny bit better. But my last one, they're undefeated. Put them in there. Miami, Ohio.
I like it. Well, you're going to love this. Because my first honorable mention, which doesn't mean it's necessarily my number 11, is my Miami of Ohio. I'm with you. I've came around to that. Like, you win 30 straight games.
You gotta give some respect.
Dude, I'm giving them some love. I hope they really, I do. I hope they beat Ohio, and I hope they win the conference tournament, and I hope they come in there and they beat some teams. So I had to throw them in there. I also had Virginia in mind.
Okay.
That was a butt whooping, but man, it doesn't take away from what Virginia has done this year. I've got Nebraska in mind because I still think Nebraska, even though they're kind of going a little cold, think that they're a pretty decent team. And it was tough on this last one because there was a few teams that were around, and I was going to put Texas Tech at that last spot, but
Okay.
I'm going with St. John's. I still think that the Red Storm are a good enough team. I think that they could make some noise in the tournament. So
I believe that they get a share of the Big East title.
Yeah.
Them and UConn are tied for 1 right there. I'm pretty sure it's a share for the title. So starting off with my 10 through 6.
Yep.
Number 10, I got Illinois. I don't know how to feel about this team. Remember, this is not like our Shooting Hoops in the Boot top 10 where I am like, okay, this is the 10th best team. This is the 10th best team right now, probably. It's just that they show signs of being the 15th or the 16th, which is not a knock on them. It's just I want some consistency from them. I mean, there's 300 teams in Division I basketball.
That's true.
But I just want a sign of life from Illinois. Number 9, I got Iowa State.
There you go.
The resume does show flat out. They are a very, very solid squad still. 2 losses in a couple days. It's the inverse of what they did a couple weeks ago when they beat Kansas and Houston. Then number 8, I got Michigan State. Sparty's just there in the Big Ten Big Ten. No one is really talking about them right now. It feels like because it feels like all the noise has been put on Michigan. being Michigan, and then Purdue and Illinois for being weird, and then Mick Cronin for being the best coach in the conference. You didn't think I'd go one episode without Mick Cronin being
No, I
mentioned.
knew you were going to get a mention of our alien friend there, Mick Cohen.
I hope UCLA wins the conference title or the conference tournament just so he could have a speech after. You doubted me. Number seven, Nebraska. I have them at 7 because I believe in them still. Weekly appearance.
There's our weekly visit from Nikki.
Nebraska, I still believe in them, flat out. Now, will I say they are a team I could see getting upset pretty quickly in the tournament? Yeah,
For sure.
Yeah, but they're still a very solid team for right now. And number 6, I got Houston. Flat at 6. And you know what it is. The KSMS. The Kelvin Sampson Memorial Spot. Because Houston's always going to be at 6, aren't they?
Well, I like that. We differ a little bit this week. At number 10, I've got the North Carolina Tar Heels.
Okay.
They've been on a run lately, and they're, of course, fixing to play the best team in the nation, and it's going to be at Cameron Indoor. But, God, if they could end up winning that ball game somehow and have 2 regular season victories over the Tar Heels, over the Blue Devils, wouldn't that be something? They're on a run right now. At number 9, I've got the Illinois. Fighting Illini, I'm going to be honest with you. The loss to Michigan was what it was. Illinois beats everybody that they absolutely should, okay? For the most part. Then when they play the upper echelon, they have a little trouble. And I tell you why. It's because they don't defend that well. And I think if they can figure out a way to amp up the defensive intensity, I heard something really funny about the Fighting Illini today. They have a lot of bitches on their team. I didn't use the B, but they have a lot of people with the very last sound of their name, bitches. That European, they've got length. They've got one of the best players in the nation, in Wagner. I think Illinois could make some noise. At 8, I've got Iowa State.
Okay.
I think you can't deny what they've done this year. They're up and down, but they're at my 8th spot. At 7, I've got the Houston Cougars. From honorable mention back into 7. I fell in love again, Charlie. I got to see them play a little bit again. I was like, okay, I'm back on the Cougars.
Yeah, this is actually who it is. I love Cougars.
I got a little spooked. Losing 3 games in a row. At 6, I've got Sparty. Give me Izzo and the Michigan State. I'm telling you right now, there's something about this team that I think could make some noise. They also win most of the ball games they should. I don't know. I think that maybe it's just because I trust Coach Izzo. So I've got Michigan State at 6.
Okay. My number 5. I got UConn. They are kind of the Big East. I've said it all year. They're just such a weird conference where it's like I can't tell how strong the Big East is this year. They're not as strong as they were last year. Let's say that they're not as strong as they were last year.
No,
they were a 4 or 5 bid last year. UConn, St. John's, Marquette. I think Xavier got in. I'm pretty sure that they were a 4 or 5. So they're it's still a good conference. It's just UConn is the benefactor in this. UConn and St. John's really are, because it's those two. And really, there's a step there between UConn and St. John's to me. And then you have the obvious Seton Halls, the Villanovas of the world. Number 4, I'm a Florida believer now, all the way. The Gators are chomping away at their competition pretty easily right now. They killed Arkansas. I've never seen a Coach Cal team get murdered in the way that they got killed in that one. It was insane. Number 3, I got Michigan. Staying put. Number 2, Arizona. Yeah, the pride of me wanted to put Arizona at 1, but I couldn't do it. At number 1, it's Duke.
Well, I won't take up a lot of time because we have the same 5 teams. The only difference we have is I have Michigan at 2. You have Arizona at 2. That's it.
Okay.
I'm with you on everything else. I'll go through it briefly. I think what you said about Connecticut is true. They have been a benefactor, but I think they are also a deep squad that has a championship coach and a championship pedigree. Florida, defending champs. I'm going to be honest with you, Charlie. I almost wanted to put them up there. They are so hot. And the eye test with them right now, they could back-to-back. They could do what Billy Donovan did there. They really could.
Oh, calling the shot here.
I'm saying it's possible. I really am. They're hot. And Duke, we'll see what happens this weekend. I'm telling you right now, if I had to put some money down, I'd say that's going to be your national title winner. They are really, really good.
Okay, so you heard it here first, folks. Don't bet on Duke, is what we're hearing. So that's our top 10s right there. Duke is our combined number 1. They've been dominant all year.
Yeah.
Flat out, they are a great team. So, do we want to discuss a little madness before we get into real quickly before we get into our predictions?
Sure.
Okay, I had this graphic prepared of the Sun Belt bracket. The Sun Belt tournament started yesterday, but I just wanted to show it because it's the funniest bracket known to man.
It hurts my head to look at it.
It's a gauntlet. I respect it, though, because, the winner of it is going to be...
You know what this bracket reminds me of?
What?
Some stuff you would have thrown together on a video game back in the day and said, hey, Dad, let's play this tournament together or whatever. Like, it's a mess. Like, it's a mess. You're the Sun Belt. Like, come on, man.
Well, do you want to know the funny part?
Uh-huh.
So...
I'm looking at it, but go ahead.
So Troy is 12-6 in the conference. Okay, so they're the one. Marshall, the 2 seed, 11-7 in conference. Okay. Coastal Carolina, 11-7 in conference. They're the 3 seed. App State, the 4 seed, 11-7 in the conference. South Alabama, the 6 seed, 11-7 in the conference. Texas State, the 5 seed, 11-7 in the conference. Arkansas State, 11-7 in the conference. And the funniest part of it all is that South Alabama and Arkansas State have the better record, like the better personal record than the other teams. USA is 21-10. ASU is 20-11. The other ones are 19-12.
They don't call it the Fun Belt for no reason, I suppose. I don't know, man. It's a mess. It hurts my head to look at. All I know is that one of these teams is going to go dancing, and thank God.
It's going to be Troy, and Troy's probably going to win a game. Troy's a very good team.
Yeah.
So
that's a mess, man.
It's funny though. I'm glad I waited to show it to you.
I remember looking at it last year and thinking, what the hell are they doing? And, nothing's changed.
So, do we want to get into the big games of the week?
Yeah, it's a big one. Let's do it.
All righty. So, let's start off tomorrow night. This one in the Big East. It's a little major game. St. John's going to Seton Hall to play.
Mm-hmm.
I think that this is a tough one here. St. John's only won 65-60 on January 20th this year against the Pirates in New York. It was not in MSG, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to flat out say this. I think Seton Hall gets it done. In this one. St. John's, I feel like Patino, he's not the type of coach to do this, but I feel like he's going to not play to the full potential. Or not coach to the full potential because something more important is down the road. That's the Big East tournament.
All right. I disagree 100%. I think St. John's wins this ball game, and I don't think it's close.
Okay. So let's get into Saturday's games.
Yeah,
Which
this one gets fun.
It's rivalry week. So let's pick some fun rivalries out. Let's start off at 11 a.m. I know someone who owns this network that we're on is going to be watching this game. Arkansas playing Mizzou in Columbia. These two teams played each other earlier in the year. Arkansas won 94-86. That was actually about a week and a half ago in Fayetteville. This is a weird one. This is one that could get wonky.
Well, I'll tell you this much, man. If Mizzou can pull this ball game out, it's going to give them all the momentum in the world going into the tournament. It will solidify that they are a legit tournament team. And as much as I want to go with the team that I thought was the best team in the SEC, I'm going to give a sentimental pick here. You're going to Mizzou. M-I-Z.
And Z-O-U, because I believe that Mizzou wins. I believe Vandy, who we'll pick in a second, beats Tennessee. I think Mizzou gets the double bye. The last double bye in the SEC tournament.
There is something about this Mizzou team that they show up for big games, and I think they're going to show up for this one.
The term is infectious to me. I think that they're just a fun team to watch.
Well, they're starting to really hit their stride, and I'll go out on a limb. I'll go against my better judgment and say M-I-Z.
The next one in Knoxville, Vandy versus Tennessee. These two teams played a couple weeks ago. Tennessee took that one 69-65, but a little bit different playing field here. Tennessee's playing for a double bye. Vandy's playing also to try and get the double bye, but they're kind of locked between the Kentucky, Mizzou, A&M vortex of that 5 seed right now in the SEC. It's a real rough look at the standings.
I just feel like this boils down to what have I seen with my eyes this year? And I've seen Vandy win a lot of ball games I didn't think they would win. And I've seen Tennessee lose a lot of ball games I thought they would win. That said,
is this the battle of mid?
It is. That said, if I'm going to go on coaches, I like Rick Barnes better. I got to go on location. I hate to say it, man, but Rocky Top takes this one.
I alluded to it. I picked Vandy to win. I just think that they're gonna find some fire here in this one. Next one, up on the dish, Wisconsin versus Purdue in the Mackey Arena.
Well, Purdue has really been struggling lately. And I'm going to tell you something about this Wisconsin Badger team is they will come into your house and give you all you want. Ask Michigan about that.
Yeah.
You know, that said, I think Matt Painter's going to have the squad ready. I don't see another loss in Mackey. Give me the Boilermakers. I don't think it's actually going to be close.
Okay. You guarantee it?
I'm guaranteed it's a lock.
All right. I'm going to say you're wrong.
Ooh.
I think old Badgery, I almost said Badgery do.
Like a didgeridoo or something?
Bro, we read this book in class today about being a good sport. It was be a good sport, didgeridoo. And so now I'm like thinking about didgeridoo.
Fair enough.
Well, I think the Badgers win. I think the Badgers are going to win this one. Something about this team. There are some road warriors, Wisconsin is. They are. I mean,
they have really been impressive on the road. And I'm going to tell you, man, they're a team that's tricky when it comes to tournament time. But I think Coach Painter's going to get his squad together at the right time.
All right. Next, we travel on that road once more. Tobacco Road. UNC Duke. The last time these two teams played each other, Seth Trimble hit the 3 buzzer beater. Well, let's be real, buzzer beater to beat the Blue Devils. Since then, Duke has been on a tear. 16-point win against Pitt. 13-point win against Clemson. 37-point win against Syracuse. 5-point win against Michigan. 44-point win at Notre Dame. 26-point win against UVA. A 29-point win at NC State in Raleigh.
Mm-hmm.
They have been on a tear since then. And for North Carolina, they struggled for a little bit. Now they've kind of caught that fire back that they had going into the Duke game last time. This one's in Cameron Indoor, though. It's probably the last time that you see Cam Boozer in a Duke jersey in Cameron Indoor.
I agree. It's pretty simple to me. These teams, they hate each other. The fans hate each other. Both of these teams are in my top 10. One's at number 1 for a reason. They let one go earlier in the year. They're not going to do that again. This will be a close ball game probably, at least for a while. There's no way I'm picking against the Blue Devils. They're going to win this ball game.
Okay, I gotta stop. Duke's gonna win this one. They're gonna be angry. Caleb Wilson will be playing, I'm pretty sure. That is a big deal.
It is, but is he going to be at full strength? I mean,
and how much does Hubie want to risk anything happening to him?
Yeah, I mean, you got a team that can make a little bit of run in the tournament. Who knows what'll happen? So I agree.
And he's your best player. He's also about to be in the NBA.
Yeah,
you don't want to mess up his future as well.
I will say this side note to the game. I think Trimble puts up 20 plus.
Okay. We'll take that parlay right there.
He's a scorer, dude.
Next up on the dish, this one in the Coleman Coliseum. You were talking about it, so we'll talk about it. Alabama versus Auburn, the Iron Rim, as I'm going to call it now, as opposed to the Iron Bowl. This is a weird one. These two teams played each other earlier in the year. Alabama snuck away in Auburn with a win 95-90. If Auburn wins, the conversation starts getting louder about them. You can't lie.
No, for sure. This is I'm looking at the games we picked so far, and I understand double buys are on the schedule. This is the season for Auburn. They lose this ball game, short of winning the SEC tournament, they're not in. So they're going to give it everything they got. I really believe that. I just don't think they have enough. I think that don't get me wrong, Pettiford, and then they got good players. They should be better than they are. I just think Alabama's playing good ball right now. I think the universe is going to give us what we need. What is true? Auburn doesn't belong in the tournament. Roll Tide.
So, I mean, flat out, Auburn's going to get blown out in this one. I'm going to say it. Stephen Pearl, to me, is just not a good head coach.
That's the understatement of the show, Charlie.
You know what? I'll flat out say it. I think he's a terrible head coach. I think that he got the reins only because his dad, I'm going to flat out say it, was selfish and retired 2 weeks before preseason game started on September 22nd. But still, I feel like the announcement still messes it up, though. September 22nd is when you announce your retirement. The season starts in quotes about like October 15th with the preseason charity games. That's what I mean by it's selfish of him. And I think that they kind of rushed it because they were like, well, Pearl's going to retire. We got to do something quick here. We can't go on a head coach search in September. Let's get Steven a job. And that might have been the worst mistake the Auburn ADs have made since Hugh Freeze was their head coach. Let's be real. Auburn's athletics administration might be the worst in the SEC by a mile.
I will tell you this much. I will be surprised. I'll be surprised if he makes it through the entire season next year. I'll put it to you that way.
Wow. You're saying he might get fired mid-season?
Maybe.
It matters. It matters on the recruiting class.
Bama as well.
Yep.
I've given enough energy to Pearl. Let's get to the next one.
Texas Tech BYU. Battle of the two hurt teams, really, here. BYU has fallen off a
big time.
A rock. They were 17-2 at one point. And since they lost to Arizona on January 26th, they have won 3 games. They have lost a total of 7.
I heard Seth Greenberg say today he didn't think that they should be a tournament team.
That's just wrong. That's a little wild.
Yeah, I thought that was a little crazy too. You're right. Somebody's got to win this ball game though, and you got 2 teams that are close like this. I'm going to go with the best player on the court. Give me BYU. I've not picked with them much this year. I don't think they're that great a team. I think if Toppin was playing, for sure I'm picking Texas Tech. But 2 teams, both of them with injuries. Give me the best player on the court. I'll take BYU.
I'm not sure you remember my new rule with BYU. Ever since, I believe it was the Houston game, the Kansas game, January 31st, never pick the Mormons. And that will stay the same. Give me Texas Tech. I can't trust BYU when it matters.
Gotcha.
And finally, our last regular season prediction of the season. Michigan State, Michigan. In Ann Arbor. In Ann Arbor.
It's a heavyweight fight right here.
Yep, these 2 teams played each other earlier this year. 83-71 was the final. Michigan took that one. Dusty May accused Jeremy Fears of dirty play.
Started Dusty May deal there. Yeah.
Dusty May has been accused of cheating by Tom Izzo in kind Tom Izzo sense.
Man, as great as Tobacco Road may be, I think this may be even better. Man, Michigan's such a good team. And everything leads to they should win this ball game. This is a big ball game. Coach Izzo knows about big ball games. I know this game is in Ann Arbor. I know that Michigan is higher on my power rankings, and I know they're the better team. If they play 10 times, Michigan wins 7. That said, Sparty gets it done. Mark my words. Sparty gets it done. Give me the Spartans.
Okay. Well, you just threw out my whole little talk that I was going to have out of the way here. It's tough to pick against Tom Izzo in the month of March. It's like picking against Jim Boeheim in the tournament.
Yeah.
It's kind of impossible to do because when March hits, Tom Izzo is a different level, no matter what, as a head coach. And I believe that Michigan State is and will be a Sweet 16, possibly an Elite 18. I think they can go further. Possibly.
Sure.
If they catch fire in the right sense, they can go further. Michigan, on the other hand, is a team that ever since December have looked confusing. They keep on winning. I'm not going to put it past them. They keep on winning. And they win good games.
They win big a lot.
They win big. It's just some of those games you should not be going against Maryland, and it's a 5-point game with 4 minutes left, and you're the number 2 team in the country. They anger me, flat out.
Play with their food a little too much, huh?
Yeah. As Doc Rivers said a couple of years ago, you don't want to play where you meet too much, and
sure.
that's what they've been doing. So I gotta go with Michigan State here. I think that Izzo's a little angry about the accusations about Fears. I think he's a little bitter of a person. He does not take a loss well sometimes. Give me Sparty by 7.
All right. Well, before we close out this week, I've got a little something I'd like to say, if you don't mind, son.
All right.
All right. You guys know this is my son, hence the name of the show. We've done this pod this year, and it's been such a pleasure. But what has truly been a pleasure, son, is to watch you call games on the Boot Hill Sports Network. Watch you do what you love. I know you called your last high school basketball game the other night. I know it was an emotional deal because you called it in the same place that you and your Uncle Jerry, who got you into called y'all's last game. And I don't want to speak for Jerry. He's up there in that great press box in the sky. But what I will say is, I'm proud of you. I think he's proud of you. And what you've done is a phenomenal job as a high schooler. The dedication it takes. I worked as a sports journalist back home, and I know what it's like to be in those basketball gyms. So you, Mark, Chris, everybody, I mean, big props to you guys. But I want to shout you out. In ball when you were a little kid, I'm your biggest supporter and your toughest critic too. I can't tell you how many times, and it's probably made you upset. I've texted you and said, quit being so excited. Quit doing this. Quit doing that. This year, I ain't have to do that, man. Your progression has been something that has been incredible for me to watch. So I just want to give you your flowers, and I just want to let you know, man, that you've got what it takes. You do. And thanks for inviting me on this podcast. And I'll kill it with the sappy stuff, but I do want to say, man, thank you, Mark, for giving this kid a chance. Thank you, Jer. Thank you so much for being the uncle you were and hipping this kid to there. And thank you, Charlie, for passing this down. As he called himself, my adopted son, Travion, better be calling games next year. Travion, if you're watching tonight, don't make me come up there and do like I used to do to Charlie and put that belt to you, buddy. You better be carrying on this tradition. That said, man, I just wanted to shout you out real quick on that. I know we got some big games coming on in the Boot Hill. Before we sign off, I want to tell you right now, give me Bunker. Give me Hey Ty in a big upset, I believe. And give me Woodland.
I wanna sit here on my soapbox real quick. No, we're not going to St. John. No, we are not going to Van Buren. I don't care. I want to go to Bartlett. And my predictions, I'll give them to you real quick. Look, I've had some interactions in the past couple days with some residents from the Class 1 District 1 champs. Bunker by 20. But also, I think Puxco wins the Class 2 game. And
I respect that.
I think that I don't know. I don't know much about Miller Career Academy. They're a pretty good Class 3 team, though. They were Class 4 last year. They got beat a lot in the district title game by I forgot the school. They're in St. Louis. I forgot. Oh my lord! They played us in baseball last year.
Live for life.
I know. No. I know what it is, and it's gonna really make me mad if I don't get it out of my head. So I'm about to go to the mission site and figure out what school it was, because I'm getting angry over here with not remembering. They've won Class 4 like 4 times in a row or something at this rate. I'm pretty sure. Vashon,
yeah.
They ran into Vashon like 5 straight years. And Vashon, obviously, a dynasty right now. They've won 5 straight state titles. Won a district title in 2020. Won a state title in 19. Won a district in 18. Two state titles in 17 and 16.
Oh, yeah. They've been doing it.
They ran into a brick wall, and now they finally get a chance. I don't know. I Woodland. One of the best teams I've seen. I think Woodland probably takes that one, though.
All right. From me in Bartlett, Tennessee, Big Duck, Matthew Duckworth. Thank y'all for tuning in tonight.
And from from me, Charlie Duckworth. I got my one little pimp duck right here. Here in Crothersville. We will see y'all. Well, Chris and Mark will see y'all tomorrow for the audio stream of Portageville versus. Trying to remember who they play. I'm blanking off the top of my head. And then
Go Lady Dogs.
We'll see you Saturday. Puxico Hayti, Battle of the Indians in that one. So catch Boot Hill Sports Network wherever you can. It's about to be the end of the season. And it's about to be a real sad time to be a sports fan in the Boot Hill. But nonetheless, we still got this duck right here. We got those 2 ducks over there. And we still got our 2 ducks on this show. We'll see y'all next week for the special Wednesday Charlie's in a Hotel Trapped in Branson episode. And then we will see you
Selection Sunday
afternoon for Selection Sunday. We'll see you then on the Boot Hill Sports Network.